and it was almost like a Cinderella moment. I remember trying on the dress that happened to be the most expensive dress in the shop, of course. And I came out of the fitting rooms and just like, yeah, had this Cinderella moment where I was like,
So, hi Scarlett, welcome to Yodoozy. I hope you have a great time with us here at Yodoozy Chit Chat. So, you are a really popular model and you're massively popular on Instagram and TikTok. Like, how does it feel to be in this space, to be you?
um, often I find it really surreal because I still see myself as very much I'm from a county in the UK called Somerset, and Somerset is really known for being countryside, country bumpkins. So to suddenly be like this glamorous person, and to have people sort of encouraging me to continue pursuing that, it's really surreal but really heartwarming. I absolutely love what I do, and I'm so grateful that it has become such a huge part of my life, that it's not just how I look, it's actually developed into like a bit of a career. And like, yeah, like thinking back to when I was a teenager, like if I was to tell teenage me that this is what I would be doing, like I never ever would have believed it. So yeah, I'm incredibly grateful, but it's definitely surreal. But yeah, very grateful.
Okay, I mean, obviously, people do not just follow you for like your beautiful pictures and for your videos, but also like for the person that you are, because it's being an influencer is like it's an entire personality, it's like an entire lifestyle, and that is so great. But also, they follow you for these amazing hairstyle tips and these amazing makeup tips which you share. So, what is your favorite hairdo which you do?
Thank you. That's really kind. For me, I think the classic when you put so much effort into setting your hair in rollers, and then you get this beautiful brush out, whether that's into like some Hollywood waves or just a really fluffy 40s curls. Or I had for the first time a hairstylist do a page boy style on me. That is always where I just feel totally glamorous and like I'm a Hollywood starlet. So for me, yeah, when you put so much effort into a look, into like a hairdo, like having to set your hair and brush it all out, and then it looks just fabulous. That's probably my favorite. It's a nice down curly do. That's my favorite.
What are some tips that you find useful, which like you use every time?
So the number one tip I say to people is honestly practice makes perfect. It took me years to be able to learn how to do like winged eyeliner without using like a stencil. Or I remember the days where doing winged eyeliner used to take me like an hour. But I was so like, I want to do this. So honestly, practice makes perfect. It's the same with hairstyles. Like victory rolls for me, again, they're one of the hardest hairstyles to do, but it's one of the most well known. So practice honestly makes perfect. Also with hair, it's getting used to your hair type. Everyone's hair is so different in how it responds to, say, heat or rollers. So it's getting used to what works for your hair. So I'm incredibly blessed. My hair is very thick. So what works for my hair might not work for someone who's got thin hair. And so I think it's getting used to what your hair reacts to, and picking up little hints and tips from different people. Don't solely rely on everything I say, because what I say might not work for you. But then looking at different influencers or hairstylists. I've been to so many different hair and makeup classes and picked up little snippets along the way that have helped me, but others no good for me at all. So yeah, it's finding what works for you is really important, and practice, practice, practice.
Yeah, that makes complete sense, actually. Okay, so you have been like an inspiration to a lot of women because like I was looking through your Instagrams, looking through your comments. You've been an inspiration to like a lot of women and girls out there. Is there someone who's inspired you, who you feel really inspired by?
I find this one really an interesting question. I've often been asked like who's my idol, and I don't think having an idol is very healthy because you almost put them on a pedestal. I think having inspirations is really important, and they come for me from all different walks of life. So obviously Dita Von Teese, because of her beautiful pristine aesthetic, and she's very high glamour. She's a huge inspiration to me. But then I also look to people like Ashley Graham, supermodel, because she is breaking down barriers within the fashion world, especially with supermodels, because she is fully embracing who she is, her curves. I adore her energy. So she's a huge inspiration for me in terms of like modeling. I also probably surprise people, but I really love the Kardashians because yes, they are, you know, they've got all the money to put behind their looks and stuff, but they are hard-working business women, and they are so many steps ahead of the game and thinking about things. That's like, it's so fascinating and really inspiring. Yeah, I find them really inspiring. I always have to look at the girls that I follow on Instagram as well. There's so many models on there who inspire me, or girls who are now friends who dress in the vintage style. So I always love a lady called Nikki Redcliffe because she has just got the most perfect vintage style and suits to die for. There's just so many women on, like, that's what I love about Instagram, is you can go on there and be inspired by so many different women of different ages, sizes, ethnicities, hair types, skin color. It's just, oh yeah, that's why I love Instagram.
So most of your pictures and videos, they're all like styled in this very niche vintage style, which looks amazing, by the way. So, like, how did you come to this niche? Like, was it a conscious decision, or was it just something, just which just happened along the way?
I definitely feel like it was a total fluke. It was never planned. When I must have been about 15. I definitely was the classic teenager where I felt lost. I didn't know who I was. I didn't know what style I enjoyed. I tried copying other girls, but it just wouldn't ever work for me because I'm trying to be them and not me. And I found that high street fashion, definitely at the time, just made me feel so much bigger in my size than I was. And then I met this wonderful shop called Deadly is the Female, who stock vintage reproduction. And I got to work with them for a charity fashion show as I was dancing in the show. And I got to try on one of their dresses for the first time, and it was almost like a Cinderella moment. I remember trying on the dress that happened to be the most expensive dress in the shop, of course. And I came out of the fitting rooms and just like, yeah, had this Cinderella moment where I was like, oh, this is amazing. And I suddenly was like, I just looked at myself and my body in a completely different way and was like, okay, like, what is this like vintage thing? And it just pretty much just kind of rolled on from there. And the more I explored it and tried different looks and got my first modeling opportunity, I suddenly was just like, I think this is me. This is who I'm meant to be. And this is the look I want to be. So it happened really probably organically, but it was totally unplanned. And it's just now what makes me happy and makes me feel like myself. So it's worked out well.
So, like, I saw a lot of like pin-up style posts on your Instagram, which were, like, which look really good. So, do you have any favorite?
Gosh, I've done so many now, which yeah, I'm very grateful for. That every time I try to pick one, I then remember another, and I remember another. So I I I don't think I do have a favorite. I've definitely, I think the shoots I've done this year, because of like the lockdown and all the stuff to do with COVID, I think I've appreciated them that much more and probably put even more effort into them. So there's been about 3 or 4 photographers that I've worked with this year that I've been trying to work with for about 2-3 years now. So they're so special to me. So I worked with a lady called Louise Courage, and she took the most beautiful photos of me on the beach in this sequin gown, and I adore those because they're so strong. And then I did a boudoir photo shoot with Belle Privy Photography, and Belle and I have been trying to work together for about 3 years now. And so for me, that was a moment where I just went into the studio and was just like, we are gonna absolutely just smash this, create. And like, they are some of my absolute favorite photos because they are just, they make me, for me, when I look at a photo and almost have like a pinch me moment, and I go, that's me in that photo. That's when I know, like, yeah, that's a killer one. And then I also got to work with one of my favorite photographers again, Terry McNamara, and we did like a whole day of like 4 or 5 different looks, and each completely contrasting each other, but each were just so, I just loved it. So no, I don't have a favorite at all because I love so many. It's hard to pick one.
Yes, I mean they're all your babies, so you cannot pick one. Okay, so like you're talking about like all these shoots where you're wearing such like flamboyant and extravagant outfits, and you must be doing like crazy shit where like you're on like planes and everything, and that's so cool. But like, how do you approach shoots like these, which are so complicated and so extravagant?
So for me, I see it as creating a character. So I have a degree in dance and drama. So theatre, performing arts is very special to me. And so I think I approach it as creating a character. So for instance, I've worked with a amazing fine art photographer called Ruby Hyde Photography. She's the one who's got me in water. She's got me in mud. I've stood in puddles for her, doing all sorts of bonkers things. And the whole time, we're creating like a character and a world around it. So I think for me, when I'm in these situations where, they're totally bonkers and not normal, I have to find, okay, like I'm in the water with I'm channeling almost like Ophelia vibes, like very Shakespearean. Or we did one, where I was stood in a puddle painted in gold. So for that, I was channeling like a goddess, very Greek goddess vibe. So I think for me, it's working from almost like the inside out to show who it is I'm trying to be within the photo.
Okay, wow, that sounds very, very, very interesting.
Way more like probably thought about than anyone expects.
Yeah, exactly. I just thought that talk about like how were they very interesting, but then you just went all theater. That was very cool. Okay, so like like there are actually a lot of people who really want to get into vintage fashion, but it just seems really unapproachable because like there's this standoffish thing because it's supposed to be like very high fashion and very like very like Hollywood, just very vintage Hollywood. So like, do you have any tips you'd share, with people who want to get into this niche?
Yeah, a lot of people will look at the vintage style, and because it's very pristine almost, and it looks expensive, and it absolutely doesn't have to be. If you want to start looking into the vintage style, I always recommend like starting small. So I always recommend like looking at separates so that you can mix and match different outfits, and you don't necessarily have to go and buy like expensive high-end pieces. You can still get them on the high street. So whether you invest in a good pair of high-waisted jeans that initially give you that nice nipped in waist, and then you can build from there, or a pencil skirt, and then some blouses, or peasant tops, you can then like sort of mix and match and start seeing what your style is. And like for me, my style changes all the time. So at the moment I'm very much into like tight fitting dresses, but then other times I want to wear a pair of trousers, or I want to be a bit more rockabilly. So it's exploring what works for you and your body type. So I always think, start small, separates are great because you can interchange them and you can add little touches of vintage. You don't immediately have to know how to do victory rolls, set your hair, put on a full face. You just add a red lipstick to your look every day, or you could put a hairscarf in. It's building things up slowly and just exploring what works for you. Like, fashion is meant to be fun, so don't be sort of stressing that you're not exactly perfect. And I personally don't think there's anything wrong with mixing eras. So I'm not an era specific person. I won't say this is an exactly 1950s outfit. I might have, you know, a swing dress on, but then have my hair in a beehive. So don't be afraid to mix things up. Yeah, fashion's meant to be fun. So enjoy it.
Yeah, that's actually great advice, because like that just means that you can actually work with things which are right in your wardrobe and still make
Yeah,
them vintage.
exactly.
Okay, so I just talked about how a lot of women look to you for inspiration. So what does body confidence like mean to you? Especially, women are made to feel very uncomfortable in their body. So, what would you tell women who do not feel as confident about themselves?
For me, one of the biggest lessons I've learned is you have to be comfortable in yourself for yourself. It doesn't matter about anyone else. Haven't, they're not you. Um, so you've got to put yourself first. And quite often, like, you have to ask yourself, the way you talk to yourself about your body, would you say that to someone else? So if I was, for example, to look in a mirror and say, my tummy's too round, would I go up to someone else and say, your tummy's too round? No, I wouldn't, because that's rude. So why would I do that to myself? And I think one of the best, I remember, I'm a huge fan of RuPaul's Drag Race. And I always remember listening to Bob the drag queen, who said, you need to look at yourself in the mirror and just find one tiny little thing that you like. And that's how you start building up. So you might look at yourself and go, do you know what? I really like my teeth. I might not enjoy the rest of myself right now, but I like my teeth. And you start building up that confidence. So then the next day you might say, actually, my hair looks really good today. I like my hair. And then the next day, my legs look great today. And it's about slowly learning how to talk kindly to yourself. And we all go through days where we feel like utter rubbish, and that's okay. But we don't want to sit in that place. It's learning to be comfortable with yourself, mind, body, spirit, and just projecting to the world. And like, you're here on this planet for yourself. No one else matters to you. If you want to live your life not doing what makes you happy because of fear of other people's opinions, like, that's your life you're wasting. So I think you have to do it for yourself. And it's really hard. We're all told you shouldn't be selfish. Oh, that's too selfish. Oh, you're being too confident. No such thing. No such thing at all. You have to put yourself first and be happy with you. And as soon as you do, like, that confidence then radiates and it can inspire other people. And yeah, I just think it's really important to do it for yourself, no one else.
Okay, so to like go back to the shoot questions. So, you really like to dress up like popular people from TVs and movies. I saw you dressed as Ariel and a lot of Disney businesses, and you looked amazing, obviously. So, which one do you like? Which one's your favorite? Which character is your favorite? Or someone, or some character, you'd like to do in the future?
Yeah. I really loved the Mary Poppins one I did, because that was just totally magical. And it was one that like, I remember stressing about the costume so much because, like, I couldn't find the hat. Bless my mum, like, basically painted and made the hat for me. It was one that just kind of came together so last minute, but was so beautiful. So I adore the Mary Poppins picture. The Ariel one is super special because my best friend's little girl, we managed to convince her that I actually was Ariel, but I'm in disguise and you're not allowed to tell anybody. Only she knows and her mummy knows. So Ariel is really special to me. And I love the Peaky Blinders ones. And like, I will never stop doing Peaky Blinders pictures because they're so strong and powerful. And I love the tailoring. I think I'd really like to have a go in the future at doing something like Wonder Woman. I think Wonder Woman would be really cool, just for total girl power. I'd also really like to do a Marilyn and see what I'd look like blonde, basically, but a good blonde wig, and do a real proper Marilyn inspiration picture. I think that'd be really cool.
Okay, so like you're a model, and so like whenever you step outside the house, do you have this compulsive need to like constantly look like your best like all the time?
Yes, at times. At times, it's something I've had to switch out of, which is why I'm quite grateful. So Scarlett Luxe is not my real identity. So I do feel like sometimes I'm in who I call it my muggle self for Harry Potter. Sometimes I'll be in my muggle self, and that's when I feel like I can go out in like jeans or gym wear. And then obviously there's moments where I'm in Scarlet and I feel like I have to have my makeup done, not fully, but at least vintage inspired. But they also do come together, like they are the same person. So it's a one that I kind of sometimes have almost like an identity crisis with. And it's a bit tricky, but it's just reminding myself, like, if I want to go out in gym wear, that's what I'm gonna do. And if someone bumps into me and is like, Scarlett, like that's just who I am, and I have to deal with that. So no, there are times where I do feel like I have to be like almost on. I have to put myself on. But I also enjoy it. So yeah, it's finding a balance sometimes I find tricky.
That's actually understandable. It's actually pretty cool that you have a personality off screen as well. So it just helps you cope up with the pressures of having a personality on screen.
Yeah, definitely.
Okay, so let's just do like a rapid fire, 5 questions rapid fire. That'd be cool. That'd be cute. Okay, so 5 things which you always carry with yourself when you get outside the house.
My phone, lipstick, red lipstick, water, keep hydrated, my diary. Everyone laughs at me so much because I've got like this big chunky diary, but I literally can't plan my life without my diary. And then one other thing is my I've traded out having a handbag for a rucksack. It's a really cute backpack, but I'm literally like always seen with that now.
Okay, 5 people who inspire you. I know
My mum, she has to be my number one. Both my parents actually, my mum and my dad. They're incredible people. So my mum and my dad. My friends, I'm surrounded by so many incredible women who just inspire me every single day with whatever path they have chosen to go down. I'm so proud of them all. My personal trainer, Laura, she is phenomenal. She inspires me. And Ashley Graham. And only one more. I'm gonna go with Marilyn Monroe, actually.
Okay, so 5 people on your quick dial list.
My mum, my wonderful friend Claudia, who owns Deadliest Female, my best friend since I was 4, Jocelyn, my best friend Hannah, and then probably my dad, just in case something happens. He's normally like, if something happens, I'm like, Dad, what do I do?
Okay, 5 gadgets which you love.
My iPhone, without a doubt, my iPhone. Bluetooth headphones have changed my life. It took me ages to get on that trend. I absolutely love my MacBook. That was one of the best investments. My ring light, I was also really late to the game with getting a ring light. That's amazing. Another gadget would be Oh, I've just recently been trying out an Apple Watch. And I can't decide whether I love it or hate it, but I'm going to include that on there.
Okay, so 5 places you would love to visit.
Italy in an absolute heartbeat. And I can't tell you which parts of Italy because I want to visit all of it. Italy, Santorini. I'm desperate to go to Santorini. Go back to America. I definitely want to go to New York. New York is high on my list. Scotland. I haven't been to Scotland enough. It's beautiful. So definitely Scotland, and then France. I want to explore Paris more, the south of France. Yeah.
Okay, I just had like a more serious question to put to you. So, Scarlett, like on your bio, I saw that you have Crohn's disease, and and it is something that you really associate with yourself, and that's really cool. So, would you like to like shed some light on it?
Yeah, so Crohn's disease is a form of inflammatory bowel disease. So it can affect you anywhere from your mouth to your anus. And it's where, so for me, mine is very much in my bowel. And what happens is parts of the bowel becomes like inflamed, and then as things try to pass through, it can really damage the lining of the bowel. It can also cause ulcers, and yeah, it's just not nice at all, basically. Unfortunately, it is an incurable illness at this time. So it's something that is treated either with medication, or some people have to have parts of their bowel removed with surgery, or you can end up having a stoma, which is where you have like a piece of the bowel coming out, and you then have a bag which deposits everything into. I'm incredibly blessed that I have been able to keep myself in remission with medication. So every 6 weeks I go to the hospital, and I have an IV drip put into my arm, and I have my medication put straight into my blood system. And that just helps to keep my symptoms at bay. And I'm very, very lucky, and touch wood, I've been on that for, I think it was 8-9 years now. So I'm very, very grateful, very, very lucky. But it's not a nice illness at all. Like I was actually suffering last night with it, because there's such a mix of symptoms. So you can have anything from fatigue, nausea, diarrhea, blood in your skin. It can be for some people really debilitating. So it's just learning to manage it for yourself. And again, it's very similar to what I was saying about hair. Everyone is different. Everyone's Crohn's is so different. So what works for you might not work for someone else. So it's learning again, listening to your body and looking after it. It's really tricky because it's an invisible illness, they describe it as. Like, to look at me, you would never know that I had this thing inside of me that sometimes is literally at me. So it's why I feel so passionate about talking so openly about it, to show that you don't have to give up who you are to an illness, B, that you can still live life. You don't have to just be stuck being an ill person, that you can get out there and achieve and do and follow your dreams. But also, like, not enough people know about it. So yeah, I find it's my way to kind of give back, almost. Like, I've been so well looked after by the NHS and support from friends and family. It's like my way to give something back to the world is to be like, hey, everybody needs to know about this thing, because not enough people do. And also to make it normal. Nobody wants to talk about poop. We all do it, but so I feel like it's important to talk about that.
Okay, so like people in our audience, they've been asking us about like how they could get into modeling. So, do you have any tips? What would be your advice if anyone want to get into modeling?
I always recommend, so for me, there is a difference between modeling and wanting to be an influencer. They're totally different things to me. Yes, they often combine and like come together, but sometimes people will look at Instagram and see people getting gifted things and they want a piece of that. So there's that sort of sense of things. But in terms of modeling, I also think people don't realize it's harder than you think to stand in front of a camera and be able to pose and get the look. And so my top advice to people is to book yourself a photo shoot. So invest. You have to invest in yourself if that's what you want to do, and you need to start building a portfolio. So I always recommend booking a photo shoot with a photographer who you love their work, and go and basically get some experience. See what it's like to be in front of a real camera on a real set with real lighting, because it's also very different to taking pictures on your phone where you're in control, you can delete things, you can change the angles. You have to fully put your trust into a photographer. So that's what I would recommend. And also, like, once you're in front of a proper camera and lights, you might suddenly go, oh, no, this is not for me. No, I don't like this. So I think it's really important to basically gain some experience of what it's really like, not just taking a little selfie on your phone or getting a friend to take an outfit picture. So I think that's really important. And then from there, if it is something you want to do, it's starting small. Don't expect to be booking big paid gigs straight away unless you are a supermodel in the making. Like, great for you, lucky. But most of us, we have to graft for it. So the way I started out was I went and modelled for like hair salons locally, for hair shows, or bridal shops, charity fashion events. It's starting to build up some experience, getting some photos, paying for other photo shoots, working with camera clubs, for instance. So it's slowly building up and building a portfolio and just working out what it is you enjoy doing and what it is you want to model, because not everybody wants to be modeling clothes, not everybody wants to be modeling boudoir, not everybody wants to be doing crazy things where you get in the water. So it's finding what works for you, and getting some experience.
Yeah, that makes sense. So, like, what are some like few basic things that every amateur model they should know when they're going to their first photo shoot?
When they're going to their first photo shoot, preparation is key. So making sure you have prepared your outfits. So I like to fully lay out my outfits so that I can see everything from like the dress, the belt, the earrings, the shoes. So I know exactly, right, this is a look. This is, instead of just throwing everything in and trying to put it together. Okay, this is look 1, this is look 2. Quite often I will take extras just in case I then put one on and I don't like it, or we have time to shoot extras. So have like however many, say the shoot allows 3 outfits, maybe take 4 or 5, and be ready. Make sure you stay hydrated and you eat. There's this thing of like, models don't eat. Oh, no. You need to eat. You have to fuel your body, because it's exhausting being, on set and constantly like going. So keep yourself hydrated, keep eating, prepare yourself to feel good. So for me, I have to have my nails painted, my toenails painted. I like to shave my legs. You don't have to shave your legs, but it's just feeling good in yourself, helping yourself. So preparation is key in that sense. For me, if I'm traveling to a shoot as well, like I want to look at the route I'm taking, plan timings, if I need to stop, if I need to book a taxi, train, whatever. Otherwise, like, basically, I'm a massive control freak. So I need to have everything, like, know what I'm doing. Otherwise, I will just be like, oh no. So I think with all of it, it's preparation is key. And also look at inspirational, like look at pictures for inspiration. What is it you're wanting to get out of these photos? So are you looking to create a Hollywood look? Have a look at some black and white photos, and also because they'll help inspire your poses. So do some research into what it is you want to create from those photos, so you don't necessarily feel like you go in and go, what do I do? What do I want? Preparation is basically key.
That makes sense. Like you should just be feeling amazing about yourself when
Yeah,
you're in a
ready.
shoot. Yes. Okay, like just like an additional question, which I've actually not written, but it's just I just want to know, what did you think about like the Met Gala, which just happened like a couple of days ago? What do you think about that?
Mm.
Because it's been like
I
a
thought it was a really poor theme. Yeah, I thought it was a really poor theme. And I think that nobody really represented the theme. I think people probably went, it's a rubbish theme, so I'm just going to do what I want. I was absolutely obsessed with Kendall Jenner's look, the like encrusted stones sheer. Oh, that was stunning. And Emily Blunt was giving me pure like Hollywood starlet with her star crown. That was beautiful. But there were also people. Oh my god, Billie Eilish! Just remembered Billie Eilish. She was like, to me, what Billie Eilish wore is what we should be seeing at the Met Gala.
yeah.
So many looks. I was like, really? Like you chose this? Like I know a lot of people have been enjoying. I think it was Kristen Stewart's look, and I was like, no. That's like okay for an awards, but this is for the Met Gala. Like this is your night to go all out. And then obviously like there's so much controversy about Kim Kardashian's look, and I think I liked it in a sense of it was out of the box. She was showing that you could literally wear, oh, she can wear something that you can't even see her and you still know that's Kim Kardashian. Like that is powerful. What I didn't enjoy was that she'd basically shown that look for the previous 2 weeks on her social media. So it was no surprise. I was like, oh, that's that look from Balenciaga. Like I wanted something either different or she needed to keep it under wraps. I was really like, oh, I've seen that. So yeah, I think it wasn't as wow as I was expecting. And I tuned into the live stream at about 1 a.m. here in the UK and was just a bit like, oh, okay. But I really enjoyed, I love that Lewis Hamilton bought the table and gave seats to designers who are Black to promote the Black Lives Matter. I thought that was incredible and I really have a lot of respect for him. I love that he basically put his money where his mouth is and was like, I'm not just going to preach it, I'm going to make the change. And I really enjoyed that and thought, yeah, it really made me look at him in a different light. I think he gets a lot of bad rep and I think that definitely was like a changing moment.
Yeah, then it makes sense, especially because like you're into vintage fashion and the theme was technically supposed to be America. So I mean,
there's so many options. Like I was so surprised there was a lack of like nobody's done anything like Western. Like I think of America and I think of like, yeah, that Western, or that people were gonna use the American flag in some way. I can't remember her name, one of the congresswomen who had tax the rich on the back of her dress. That I loved. Again, to make a statement. Same with Cara Delevingne, who was something about break down the patriarchy. And I loved that. It's making a statement. Like the Met Gala is such a huge event and everybody looks at it. So either go all out like Billie Eilish and be as glam as possible, or make a statement and like, yeah, run with the theme. Don't just, oh, I'm just going to an event. It was, yeah, meh.
Yeah, because this year it was extremely like controversial this year, and it's interesting listening to like fashion influencers talk about it, especially. Okay, so what can we expect to see from you in the future?
Goodness. So I started working as a supporting artist in film and television. Basically, I'm now looking at different aspects that I could add to life. Do I want to explore going down acting more? Do I want to get into potentially film and television, or do I want to push more on the social media? So I've got some amazing opportunities with TikTok that I'm going to be starting soon. So yeah, I'm just trying different things and seeing where the world takes me and what I enjoy doing. But I feel like I'm ready to level up, basically. So we'll just wait and see.
And okay, so on that note, I would bring this session of Yodoozy Chit Chat at the end. Thank you. This has been a great time. Thank you so much
Thank
for
you
being
so
here.
much.